The morning sun had barely lifted above the horizon when Rowan Mercer stepped onto the used car lot, hands trembling inside his worn jacket pockets. The crisp daylight made everything look sharper, harder, almost unforgiving, as though the world was daring him to try once more and fail. Cars gleamed under the winter sun, rows of polished metal he couldn't afford. But today, Rowan wasn't walking onto that lot as a dreamer. Today, he was a father desperate to give his daughter the happiness she had quietly sacrificed for years. He took a slow breath, steadying the storm inside him. He didn't look like someone who belonged in a place like this. Boots dulled by years of labor, jeans frayed at the edge, and eyes carrying the weight of every mistake he had spent the past decade trying to fix. As he approached the office door, he could already feel the judgment gathering like a cold wind behind his back. If you believe in kindness, redemption, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Right now, your support helps stories like these reach more hearts. Rowan had once been the man who could afford anything he touched back when work flowed, friends surrounded him, and confidence came naturally. But that was before the factory layoffs, before the debts snowballed, before the late night shifts that stole his sleep, but never his determination. His daughter, Mara, had grown up watching him try to rebuild the life that had collapsed around them. She had walked to school in harsh summers and freezing winters without complaint, taken part-time jobs to help with groceries, and studied under dim lamps after exhausting days. All she ever wanted was something simple, something she repeatedly insisted she didn't need. A safe little car to take her to campus, to work, to anywhere her dreams might lead. She never asked again after realizing how much it hurt him that he couldn't give it. But Rowan remembered her smile fading. He remembered every time she lied that walking was good exercise. He remembered how she always said she was fine, and that was what fueled him. After saving every spare rupee, every tip, every coin left behind in vending machines at the warehouse, Rowan had finally scraped together enough to try. Not enough for anything fancy, but maybe enough for something decent, something safe, something worthy of a girl who had stood by him through everything. The employees on the lot noticed him instantly. Their chuckles drifted in the crisp air, light but sharp enough to sting. He could sense their quiet whispering behind the glass window, the tired man in the old jacket, the one looking like he'd barely afford a spare tire, much less a whole car. But Rowan kept walking, eyes fixed on a modest silver hatchback parked near the far end. It wasn't new, but it was clean, reliable, looking, bathed in the soft brightness of daytime, like a little hope trembling in the winter cold. As Rowan inspected the car, he gently touched the steering wheel, imagining Mara's hands there, imagining her thrill the morning she would see it, wrapped in a simple red ribbon. But the salesman, a young man named Kyler with polished shoes and a smug smirk, approached with a kind of reluctant politeness. The moment Rowan said the car was for his daughter's Christmas gift, Kyler's posture softened, yet his eyes seemed to judge Rowan even more. When Rowan added that he wanted to pay in cash, the smirk returned, as if the idea was a joke he'd heard before. Kyler led him inside anyway, where two other employees leaned against the counter with folded arms and entertained themselves with whispered comments they didn't hide well. Rowan felt every glance like another weight pressing on his chest, reminding him of the years when people doubted him, dismissed him, or outright expected him to fail. But Rowan didn't break. He calmly placed an old envelope on the counter. When he opened it, stacks of neatly folded cash, saved from years of sweat and sacrifice, spilled out. The room went silent, the smirks vanished, the whispers died mid-breath. No one laughed now. They realized this wasn't the story of a man who had nothing. This was the story of a father who had given everything. The paperwork took time, and Rowan signed every form with a steady hand. As Kyler walked him back out to the daylight, bathed car, his voice carried a tone of unexpected respect. Rowan nodded quietly, offering no resentment, no bitterness. He was too focused on the moment ahead, the moment when he would pull into his driveway, when Mara would step outside, when her eyes would widen, when all the quiet sacrifices she thought no one noticed would finally be honored. The drive home felt like a dream. Every turn of the wheel carried pieces of memories. Mara packing her school bag alone, Rowan fixing her torn shoes late at night. Shared meals where they laughed despite having nothing special on the table. The sky remained bright, a gentle daytime glow making the road feel warm and safe, like hope guiding him forward. When he reached home, he parked the silver hatchback at the center of their small yard. He placed a simple ribbon on the hood, took a breath that trembled with relief, and called Mara outside. Her reaction was everything, shock melting into disbelief, disbelief crumbling into tears, and tears turning into the warmest embrace Rowan had ever felt. She held him tightly, thanking him not for the car, but for never giving up, for loving her with a strength she always felt but never fully understood. Rowan realized then that he hadn't just bought a car. He had bought freedom for her, dignity for himself, and a new chapter for both of them. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your engagement helps bring more real, inspiring stories to life. Before you go, comment "Love always wins" to let us know you're part of this kindness community.